Graphic design is everywhere around us, from the clothing we wear to the products we buy on the shelf. Knowing how to do graphic design is important, and to be visually literate in our society is also an important thing.
I'm really passionate about art. I have been since I was really little. When I found out that I can use artwork in graphic design, I was like, oh, you know what? I might be able to turn this into a career.
It's kind of interesting how I ended up here in graphic design, but it's a story I'm interested in sharing.
I incorporated my knowledge of the principles and color theory and all that into my designs, and honestly, I just fell in love with it.
First, I went into graphic design expecting it to be 3D modeling, and I learned within the first few days that that was not the case.
There's so many things that students can learn in this class. We're fortunate enough in the Chandler District to have the Adobe subscription, so they have access to Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, Premiere, and just the whole suite of Adobe products. And so the first year we just learned how to use those products.
And so my first year was mainly just learning the basics, but now since I know how to do everything, it's really cool because I get a lot of creative freedom when it comes to my projects because I know how to make my vision, what I want, come to life.
But then graphic design too starts to fill into small details, and it feels very satisfying. It's almost like you're building a puzzle. Graphic design 1 shows you how to build the borders of the puzzle, but then graphic design 2, you put all the parts in the middle and it creates an amazing work, so.
Even if I don't think I can, I usually end up making something that I'm even shocked that I was able to make myself.
At the end of year 2, the students have the opportunity to take an industry certification test. And primarily, most of the students in year 2 are taking the Adobe Illustrator exam.
So I just took my Adobe certification test, and so for Illustrator, so now I'm an Adobe Illustrator professional.
And I got certified on Adobe Illustrator. I would like to take the Photoshop certification test for year 3. It's something I definitely consider for the future.
In addition to the very fantastic computers that we have in this classroom, we also have a Konica Minolta Acurio press, printing press in class. So we can make posters and flyers and pamphlets and trifolds and things like that. We have a t-shirt printer, which is a silkscreen printer. And we have a sublimation printer, and we also have a vinyl cutter in class, so we can cut out vinyl letters and adhere them to the backs of t-shirts and things like that.
My favorite thing about this class is that I get to mix my passion of art and technology.
You basically get free creative reign over the entire project and process.
And I feel like that would be super good for setting me up for the future because technology is it's gonna advance.
So it feels more realistic, and it feels like I'm actually a employed graphic designer rather than just a student.